This is the new HGP shifter from Moza, and I think it's pretty good. If you're a PC sim racer and you just need a H-pattern manual gearbox with a believable action, then this'll do it for a good price and do it well. Let's waste no more time and kick this video straight into gear. Moza sent the HGP free of charge for review. Check the links in the description on where to buy the HGP and more, and thank you for doing so. So the good bits, it looks great. Everyone knows that you can't really offend anyone's tastes with an all-black aesthetic, and Moza haven't tried to add any enforced sass like they have in the past with other things. The dark sheen from the anodized metal parts, top to bottom, makes this shifter look the part, and the extra couple of polygons at the front give it an extra but understated character. I do love the way it looks. Everything you can touch is cold to the touch. It's metal from top to bottom. It feels really nice to use, it's got a decent amount of resistance, and each upshift and downshift comes with a satisfying metallic note as it passes through the gates of each gear. You can zip it into gears really quickly and near enough ignore that resistance bump, or you can be much more chilled and savour how it slots home on every shift. Whilst you can't adjust the strength or resistance of a shifter action, take my word for it that it leans much more towards realistic than fake, and I'm glad this was the route chosen. Flimsy shifters with no resistance to them are no good for capturing that mechanical sweetness you want. The HGP certainly has enough resistance to be believable. It's not crazy expensive. The HGP is in the region of 150 quid in the UK. For context, the Fanatec Clubsport shifter cost me around 230. And although Fanatec shifter can also do sequential shifting as well as H-pattern and has adjustable tension, the HGP is still good value and feels just as expensive in terms of construction. It will almost definitely fit your existing shifter mount. On this GT Omega Titan rig, for example, it bolted straight up without fuss using the threaded holes at the bottom. But as you can see, there is a lip front and rear to let you mount it directly to a profile rig as well. There's an optional table mount available if you're a desk demon, and it's nice and strong. It's got a built-in crumb catcher. There's a leather gaiter on the inside of a HGP that should reasonably be expected to help keep the insides clean and working well. You don't need to install any extra software on your PC to use it. Although you can install Moza's control software, it doesn't seem to be mandatory. You can just connect it, map the gears in game and go for it, because that's what I've done. Moza's control software does allow you to use an auto blip feature with a HGP shifter if you also have a set of Moza pedals, which essentially is a means of assisting you on downshifts if you haven't learned to heel toe downshift yet. In terms of bad bits, there's not much really. It's not the quietest shifter around, but it's certainly no more raucous than the Fanatec Clubsport. Some clunking and clanging in operation is not unique to the HGP. All H-pattern shifters I've tried have been the biggest noisemakers out of all of the items mounted on my rig. I can't ding it too much for that. It just comes with the territory. Moza does include these rubber buffers that you can stick in place in order to try and dampen things down a bit, but they don't have a very noticeable effect for me and kind of spoil the aesthetic. Luckily they come off just as easily and don't leave any adhesive residue behind. Besides that, the HGP of course can only do H-pattern manual shifting. This does cover a lot of classic era cars, so it's not a big deal. However, there is still a significant slice of cars that are best enjoyed with a sequential push and pull gear stick, which the HGP cannot be. This is the main disadvantage of a HGP, but look at it this way. People are mainly pointing out that it's a shame the HGP doesn't do sequential, because if it did, it would be a standout winner for the money. It very much falls under missed opportunity rather than flawed design, because very few shifters can do both. It's not alone in that regard. Overall though, if your needs align with what the HGP shifter can give you, I think you'll be very happy with it. It's got a believable feel with healthy resistance and is good enough to make all those classic cars, vintage icons and everyday road cars we can drive in sim feel alive. Thanks for watching, and once again, check the description for links to buy the stuff you've seen in this video. Cheers again.